And welcome to another edition of the smAshlights. And welcome to the Smash News Network, by the way, the least busted name in news. Please consider visiting the links below the video and so on to help support our efforts to provide real information about some unreal nonsense and some actual sense. Breaking news from SNN. Sunspot appears in the shape of Joe Biden, causing his fundraising to increase. Let's talk about nominations to the Supreme Court of the U.S. Well, let's just go down the list here. I've taken the liberty of sorting the list of nominees by number of days vacant. Now you notice that column on the right there. Allow me to vanish. You see that ND? That means number of days it took to confirm the pick. So you can see William Patterson, John Spencer, Sam Friedman Miller, Salmon Chase, Edwin Stanton, Edward D. White, another Edward D. White, William Howard Taft. They all had 0 days to get confirmed. And then you can see a whole list of Supreme Court justices that took 1 day to confirm, and then a whole list that took 2 days to confirm. See what I'm saying here, folks? Here's a whole list of 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. And guess what? In all of those situations, the president probably had a Senate majority party associated with his party. So yeah, if you've got a Senate that's friendly to your pick, you can confirm a Supreme Court justice pick in 0 days. So I know everybody has a boner about Supreme Court justices. Allow me to reappear and move on to some more stuff, because there's lots of stupidity out there. And here's some more stupidity. Coronavirus-induced CO2 emission reductions are not yet detectable in the atmosphere. Why? Well, lots of reasons. And the main reason is because mankind does not know its own input to CO2. Yeah, it's true, folks. It's true. We'd like to believe in our arrogance that we know how much CO2 mankind contributes to the atmosphere, but we really don't, in that we don't know how much CO2 volcanoes and the ocean contribute to atmospheric CO2. By the way, atmospheric CO2 has nothing to do with the temperature, the climate of the planet, and indeed the climate of the planet has nothing to do with the measurement of the atmosphere. A ridiculous notion. Have you ever gone to the doctor and had the doctor check your temperature by making you blow into a breathalyzer? What's that? No. That's because the latency of heat in your body, like the latency of heat in the earth, lies in the water, which is why you need a rectal thermometer and why the earth needs buoys sensing the temperature deep in the Indian Ocean, because only about 1% of Earth's heat latency lies in the atmosphere to begin with. This is some of the most basic physics here. And apparently, many climatologists, or I guess you could say wannabe climatologists, aren't aware of this. I mean, it took me about 5 seconds to show one person a graph, and she went, "Oh, carbon dioxide's not correlated with temperature. Just look up 530 million years of climate change, a graph that will correlate carbon dioxide with temperature, and weed out stupid people that can't look at simple data on a graph and understand it." Let's talk about stupidity. Why is it that stupid people produce so many children and smart people produce less? It's because of R versus K selection theory. Now, mosquitoes are a great example of an R-selected species. They don't have to be skilled or talented or trained. All they do is produce a lot of offspring, and they can barely fly, half of the mosquitoes out there. Their strategy is to spam the world with offspring, which, for those of us who are intelligent, we consider this a very stupid idea. K-selected species display traits associated with living at densities close to carrying capacity, and that's typically why smart people have less kids than stupid people. Sorry, folks, it's just true. If you don't know about R selection versus K selection, I don't know how it's a theory. It seems like scientific fact to me. Dandelions are also another example of an R-selected species. K-selected species include things like whales, and under optimal circumstances, humans. Do you follow us on social media? We're all over the social media. Check us out on Instagram. It's instagram.com/smAshomash. We're also on Gab. We're also on Minds, minds.com/smAshomash. And indeed on Facebook. And we try to put some exclusive content in all those situations. Let's unpin this post, and we'll talk about it later. So yeah, check us out on other social media. All the links are at smAshomash.org right there. We're having problems with our affiliate link, and it's because of Amazon. So check out these stores and the Smash forum at smAshomash.org, which will redirect you to smAshomash.com. And check it out. We've got new designs here, and our new designs will typically feature color-specific designs. So we've got certain color schemes associated with certain designs. And so the newest one is the All Things Matter shirt. And we've got this in shirts, girl shirts, and sweatshirts. This one only comes in black. If you'd like it in a different color, it's also available in blue or red, and they're all color-matched palettes. So the whole design's different, and that's why we only offer them in single colors. Perhaps get yourself a blue one. Are you a Democrat? Do you want a blue shirt that says All Things Matter? Well, it's true, folks. If you weren't aware, all things matter. We've also included smAshomash.org on there. Here are the designs in their full glory. And if you're wondering what we're looking at here, that's actually Radio Galaxy Cygnus A. If you enjoy the content, please press like and subscribe on YouTube. And don't forget to share on your social media. Tell your friends, foes, science noobs, and science pros. The video can't continue until you press like and subscribe. We'll just have to wait here while streaming live for you to get off your lazy keister and press those buttons. Don't forget to press the notification bell while you're doing so as well. You may actually see when we put out content, although I wouldn't bet on it. YouTube.com/smAshomash. Also check out our playlists. We've added one over the weekend on Sunday, talking to Eugene Bagashov about terms to find cosmology. We're also on BitChute. There is exclusive content there. BitChute.com/smAshomash. And we greatly enjoy streaming live to Twitch, which is why we do it. The platform is fantastic. And here at the Smash News Network, we believe in the concept of no malarkey. What about you? Please leave us a comment and let us know. And we're going to do a cosmology segment just tied right into the smAshlights. It'll appear on the smAshlights playlist as well as the cosmology segment playlist. It's only 4 hours and 36 minutes until fall. Or if you're in the southern hemisphere, spring. Enjoy the last bits of your summer or winter. Let us know what your plans are for the next season. And let's go down the rabbit hole of cosmology, as it's sort of important, since lots of aspects of science are constantly being rewritten, thank goodness. Were you aware that this comet, the comet Chury, has a magnetosphere? Yeah. Now this is a UV image, and you can see all these glowing areas up here? That's an aurora from the comet, indicating that it has a magnetosphere. So isn't that interesting? Now, some of us could have forecasted this. Also, isn't it interesting the way these things seem to be dipole shaped? They've got this central mass, and they've got this hourglass shape to them. Many objects seem to take up that same shape, and nobody's really sure as to why that's a thing. So in any case, here's a little animation of what would be going on. Here's an electron in the solar wind, and it's going to get accelerated as it leaves the corona. And then it's going to release light, UV light, as it breaks down water molecules and generates the aurora. So pretty interesting there. Comet Chury has aurora, and indeed a magnetosphere. If you haven't read about our mission, it's available at smAshomash.com/forum/mission. Go have yourself a read. And next we're going to talk about, can anybody guess? Anybody? It's Venus, which is all over the news lately. Parker Solar Probe has just returned some interesting data. Now, Venus has a light side and a dark side, which gives it a sweet spot. So, as Venus orbits, it's got a very hot spot, a very hot side, and a very cold side. And And on the hot side, there's this day-night terminator that takes almost an entire Venusian year to complete. So we're getting some insights into the atmosphere and so on here. If you want to read about that, that's a phys.org article in the Astronomy and Space section. The Parker Solar Probe and the Akatsuki Earthbound observers. And an interesting place. There are extremophiles, perhaps, in the atmosphere of Venus, as it's always got a part of the atmosphere that's probably around room temperature, in that it's got this ring around it. And Venus has phases. So that's why it has phases. It doesn't rotate the same way the Earth does. It rotates very, very slowly in terms of its Venusian year. Again, that article's on phys.org. Let's talk about extremophiles. Why is it that some organisms are extremely radio resistant? How come some organisms, bacteria, are extremely resistant to radiation and others aren't? Well, we can take something like E. coli or salmonella and put it in a lab and expose it to radiation and create a radio-resistant population. But why were certain organisms turning out to be extremely radio-resistant to begin with without any intervention by mankind, such as Deinococcus radiatorans? Deinococcus radiatorans is able to survive radiation 1,000 times greater than those dosages fatal to humans. So that's an interesting portion of, I guess you could say, cosmological biology, cosmic biology, perhaps at play here. Perhaps those organisms were exposed a long, long time ago to a whole lot of radiation. Another article here from the IRIS mission, the first ever clear images of nanojets. And I was pretty sure I just showed you some at the beginning of the video. But here's another SciTech Daily article about nanojets. I find it interesting. It's got some great graphics on it. And yeah, here's a close animation of it. Pretty good stuff. And they zoom way in, and there's what's going on. That particular prominence, I'm not exactly sure when that was. April 3rd, 2014, there was that prominence way up in the north. So more attempts to understand why the corona is so much hotter than the surface. We won't get into it today. We don't want the video to be too long. It's a daily space weather, after all, with these other things tied in. Today's featured object is the Sculptor galaxy, otherwise known as NGC 253, or Caldwell 65, or the Silver Coin, or the Silver Dollar galaxy. Here it is on Sinbad. And what's the point? The point is carbon monoxide emission spectra. There's the same galaxy. Check it out. There's Sculptor. And here it is in carbon dioxide emission spectra. So very interesting here. Carbon monoxide is extremely important because it emits radiation. And so this is a way for us to be able to see what's going on in interstellar cloud areas. Carbon monoxide appears in lots and lots of spots in the universe. This gives us great insight into the thickness and movement of giant clouds. Here's another galaxy that we featured earlier, a couple days ago, M51. And there's the carbon monoxide profile of M51, the Pinwheel galaxy. So emission and absorption spectra are super important in cosmology. And again, this gives us insight into the movements and density of these interstellar clouds. Great image here, courtesy of ESO, NAOJ, and Eric Rosolowski. Well done. What a beautiful image of carbon monoxide. And let's talk about COVID. Now, you may be scared and spooked of COVID, or you may think COVID is a cheap Chinese virus made in China. You may have purchased a UV wand or something because you may be so scared and spooked that you just want to, oh no, oh, it's so scary and spooky. It's about as scary and spooky as the common cold. And let's talk about COVIDIOTS. Our subscribe stars aren't COVIDIOTS. Please consider supporting us over there, perhaps at subscribestar.com/smashamash, or at patreon.com/smAsho, the true source of funding for our content. Thanks to our patrons. Please consider becoming a patron. There are 9 tiers over there for your convenience. And we've been putting audio files for the higher contributors. The Spirit tier, which is $5 a month on up, has been getting some audio stuff, things like ringtones. Patreon.com/smAshomash, where you can help us to eradicate stupidity, nonsense, lies, and complete illogic. Let's talk about nonsense, lies, and illogic. The CDC removes guidance saying coronavirus spreads through the air. Well, isn't that surprising? Well, gee, it seems like the science isn't settled on anything, is it? Oh, thanks, CDC. Well done. You're really worth all the money that taxpayers are wasting on your nonsense. Hey, federal government, get out of stuff that you're not constitutionally permitted to do. Shut your face and stop telling people to put masks on and lock down when they're healthy. Putting on a mask and being locked down and not being able to go in public while you're not sick is COVIDIOTS of the highest order, and it's really been starting to piss me off. Let's talk about the peak COVIDIOTS in Wisconsin. One of the most COVIDiotic things I've seen. Wisconsin government agency mandates face mask use for virtual Zoom meetings. Now what we're doing here is we're showing you our COVIDiots section in smAshomash.com/forum. So check that out. It's in the general science forum because we put up things like psychology stuff. Talk about some COVIDiots. There's a couple of COVIDiots. How about pure corruption and COVIDiocy? Biden-Harris 2020. Complete COVIDiots. So yeah, look at this COVIDiot. Robert Redfield. What a moron. He did the math, and it turns out the math is 8 == capital D. Idiot. A complete COVIDiot right there, paid for by your tax dollars. CDC Director Robert Redfield, who should resign and live out his life toiling in anonymity because he is a full-fledged museum-grade COVIDiot. Speaking of COVIDiots, here's another one who also happens to be a complete a-hole. Dwarf imbecile, Dr. Fauci, who has a massive financial interest in vaccines. If you'd like to visit our links, please check out smashomash.org. I won't rage about it. I'll be nice and happy and unenraged if you go and visit smashomash.org and visit our links. Perhaps you'd like to purchase yourself a shirt or something like that. Or perhaps you'd like to go to the forum. Again, we've updated the smAsho store with All Things Matter. Yes, all things matter. Perhaps you'd like a red hoodie. So you can go and tell your friends and foes that all things matter. A basic fact of reality. Just like our cosmology forum at smashomash.com/forum. And here ends another episode of the smAshlights, where I rage a little and talk about anything that I want. And then I vanish.